They've reconfigured a number of things, I am certain. What do you think the next best move is today?
Well, I agree with the general completely, with one caveat. Patience may be a little short of the real objective here. The president has time on his hands. He controls the narrative, he controls the strike capabilities, and he knows that the policy he set with the blockade has had short-term and long-term effects on the regime and the people of Iran. So he's been very astute in leveraging that time.
I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in that one meme. Did you guys see this guy's neck? First off, this is Vice Admiral, he's retired, Vice Admiral Robert Harward, and he's talking about the Iran war. But people are noticing a couple things. So let's all be Leonardo DiCaprio and see if you can find what it is that I saw that many other folks saw too.
And the president knows he's in the position to demand those. So I think in that sense, he controls the narrative and when he would strike. I'd also say that patience and the request from Saudi, Qatar, UAE.
Did you guys see this guy's neck? Wait, did you guys see this guy's neck? Come on, bro. As the whole time he's talking, it's really easy to see it's right under his chin. And since his mouth is moving because he's speaking, it's odd. People were wondering, what's going on with this guy and his neck? As a matter of fact, some folks even put together a side-by-side a comparison between his neck previous to it, that is on May 18th, versus how it was on May 21st, just 3 days afterwards. What's that flappy situation going on under your neck? In fact, let me run the video that they put together. This is the same person, the same humanoid.
Get involved, but again, their interests are at play here, but so are European interests, the rest of the Gulf nations, and so far, every time on his hands. He controls the narrative, he controls the strike capabilities, and he knows.
What the f is going on here? I've heard talk and internet chatter before about masks, specifically with Joe Biden. He scratched the back of his head and there was a wrinkle in it, and it looked kind of like rubbery. It was odd. It was odd, but it didn't really pick up much steam. This sumbitch has a flapper at the bottom of his neck. Seemingly, I don't know. I'm not coming to conclusions. All I know is it doesn't look all that natural. As a matter of fact, it looks like a mask. Let me give you guys a little bit more. I'm going over what people are saying. As Fox News says before, some say. So in this case, some say that when you look at Robert Harward's neck in this particular image, it looks like a normal neck with a collared shirt on and no flaps right around his throat area. That's something you can notice. Then you can look at that same appearance that we've been discussing and wonder why there's a hole in his neck. I know there's that medical situation that some folks have, particularly I think it's when people, have gotten throat cancer, and there's like a hole in their neck so they can breathe and stuff, right? I don't think he's afflicted with that issue, but I do see a hole in his neck. I see a separation of skin and neck between more skin and neck underneath it, as if like he's wearing a mask or something. Also, his skin is so much smoother. Let me go back to that. There's a smoothness to this man's skin in his latest appearance, but in previous ones, he's a little bit wrinkly. He's a little extra wrinkly. What's going on? Listen, I've got more. I've got more speculation because like I said, it's a Friday, and every once in a while, it's worth a little bit of speculation, especially since we're in Donald Trump's America, which everything is fake. Ryan Robiziani, I don't know who this guy is. Sorry, just some guy I saw on the internet posting this. But since he had this image up, this is the question I think some people might be asking. He says, I bet you this is Stephen Miller in a mask playing defense for Trump. He is the script writer after all. And so he pointed out how this guy is potentially wearing a face mask. Look at the image. Look, is it Stephen Miller? Stephen Miller used to always be on the media tours. He was all over the place. He'd be on CNN, MSNBC if he could, fighting with folks, and he'd be screaming on Fox News like an idiot. And I feel like Stephen Miller kind of disappeared from the circuit. I think there was those moments when he had someone chatter in his ear, yo, shush, you've said too much, Stephen. Maybe he got put on the sidelines. Maybe he was benched from all of those moments when it was just too embarrassing, or maybe people stopped wanting to listen to him shriek online, maybe it was this moment that started pulling Stephen Miller and then has him wearing an Admiral Robert Harward mask.
I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue.
It wouldn't have no technical issue. If you're having a technical issue, you start maybe maneuvering the earpiece or moving around or trying to figure out why you haven't been able to be heard anymore. Or if you're having a technical issue, maybe you're still speaking and your mouth is moving and you're not, you're no longer being heard. None of that happened. Instead, Steve Miller just stopped. There's a lot of weird going on with this administration. A lot of fake, weird going on. And no one really has any answers for it. I'm just curious. I'm just asking the question. So I'm going to ask you guys the question. Who's under Robert Harward's mask? I need a list. See if someone can identify the neck flap and a little bit of extra skin underneath. Maybe you could look into his eyes and see the soul of him, the way that George W. Bush said he could see.